the cycle of hatred ever be stopped? Will of the People by political commentator and podcaster Tim Pool is a song that is very near to my heart, and so today I'll be analyzing its deeper philosophical meaning. Feel free to check out the song in the description because this isn't just your average tune with the catchy chorus and mainstream appeal. Will of the People is also a cautionary tale about the cycle of hatred and how it'll keep spinning around and around if we refuse to learn from it. The story of this song starts off with a tragic beginning. Within an authoritarian government, its leader is calling down his soldiers to shoot down the traitors that dare to oppose the holy regime. And while you may start to think that he's a brutal and vicious old ruler, he justifies his actions by claiming that his hands have been forced. By claiming that, while he may have wanted to spare them, this is not what his people need, because he and he alone is the one who knows what's needed to save them. And so, nothing short of it is acceptable. By whatever means necessary, he will reign supreme. But what he and many other utilitarians fail to see is that his hate-filled actions will have dire and permanent effects. And it's here then that we're brought to the child that was left behind and who spent his entire life wondering why it is that he had to lose his parents. Why it is that they were killed right in front of him. And so, because of it, he himself became filled with grief and in the end, hatred. The same hatred he then used to tear down statues, and in due time, that exact hatred turned him into the same monster he once swore to fight. He erected the same statues he once tore down. He did the same things he once condemned. And so, the cycle began anew. Bloodshed begat bloodshed, and hatred bred more hatred, in a never-ending cycle of hate. I think this song depicts humanity so accurately that it's almost scary. Seeing the wheel of hate be turned in a never-ending cycle perfectly represents the will of the people. That human reflex of always asking for simple solutions to complex problems. To look at a corrupt regime and think that once your guy gets into power, things will be different because while power normally corrupts, this time it won't corrupt him. And so, due to desperation, we humans, we inevitably perpetuate the same cycle we once swore to fight. And why does that happen? Well, because we're human, that's why. We create strong and loving bonds that leave us vulnerable, and so if someone then takes away that love from our lives, we experience loss and grief so severe that it can almost only lead to hatred and revenge. The same hatred that will then make us inflict the same loss onto others, making us revel in the death of others, and in the end, fuel a cycle that we hope to never be a part of. A cycle so powerful and corrupt, it's hard to avoid its grasp. But not all is lost. Being aware of how the cycle of hatred works can on its own be enough to turn the tides. And if not for humanity as a whole, then at least for you and your loved ones. And yes, I am aware that the loss of life will always lead to pain and suffering that then again will prompt hatred and revenge within us. But we cannot give into that. We can never celebrate death, no matter how justified we may think we are, because a human life was still lost. And sometimes we'll be forced into situations that lead to death, but if we can avoid it, we should always try our best to do so. And if you're wondering, no, I don't know how to put a full stop on this hateful cycle. To be honest, I don't even know if it's possible, but all I do know is that I refuse to play a part in it. I'll peacefully protest the hatred that is corrupting our world, but I won't justify violence to get it done. I'm aware that revolutions are sometimes more than necessary, but if violence can be avoided, then that's the only acceptable way for me to take. I will not give in to the same cycle of hatred and tell myself that it'll be different this time, because it won't. If I do give in, it'll just end up like it always has before. But I have faith that if enough of us stop putting all our hopes into politicians and start to take control over our own lives, and also if enough of us stop resorting to hate and violence, then, just maybe, we may have a chance at putting an end to this broken wheel. There is nothing more sacred than saying no to the cycle of hatred. Thanks for watching, guys. Feel free to subscribe and check out one of my previous videos right here. This channel is all about digging deeper into the meaning of life and how we can get there through video games, movies, and TV shows. So if that interests you, make sure to subscribe and share it with the people you love. See ya!